So question number 5 says that the following equation describes our IS model. Describe the variables R, T, Y, and G, and as either exogenous or endogenous. That's question 5A. So we are given y equals to y equals to C plus I of R plus G. So you have to describe it as either what? Exo or endo. So the first question is, what is endogenous variable? I think if I understand what an endogenous variable means, I should be able to pick my answer. If I understand what an exogenous variable means, I think I should also be able to pick my answer. Now remember also, under the goods market, output is a function of interest rate, and under the money market, output is also a function of interest rate. Don't forget that. However, in the goods market, very importantly, in the goods market class, output is negatively related to interest rate. But in the money market, output is positively related to what? To interest rate. So either interest rate or output can serve as dependent variable. Okay? Either of them, can be used as a dependent variable. Okay? Because or let me put it this way, output in itself is a function of different components. Okay? And interest rate as well is also a function of different components, including output. So output can be a function of interest rate, and interest rate can also be a function of what? Output. So now let's start. So let's take it step by step. The first one is, what is endogenous variable? Let's start with the word endogenous variable. So these are variables. Okay. Endogenous variable are what class? Are variables that are determined within the model. Okay, they are determined within the model. Okay, they are also outcome. They are also outcome. Okay, they are also outcome variable based on the influence of what? Of explanatory variable. Okay, take note of that. So here, when you see Y, you see now here, we have the Y is a function of consumption, is a function of investment, is a function of what? Government spending. Now, but in this function, in this aggregate demand function, investment is also a function of interest rate. Hence, output is a function of what? Interest rate. Okay, now let's go there. So here, the question is just asking you, which one is endo, which one is exo? Okay, so here, class, variable Y is an endogenous variable. Take note of that. Okay, and variable R is also what? Endogenous variable. Both of them are endo. Y and R are endo. Okay. Now, go through the question very well. You understand that the question is just asking us for Y, for R, for T, and for G. However, class, take note of this. However, even consumption, although the question did not ask for consumption, even consumption in itself is a function of disposable income. And disposable income, take note of this. Consumption is a function of disposable income. And disposable income is actually income minus tax. So if the question had included C would have also been endogenous. C would have also been what? Endogenous variable. Okay, let's go to exogenous variable. What is exogenous? What is exo? Let's go to exo. So exogenous variables are variables, okay, that affect or alter or alter the state of a model, or alter the state of a model, but in itself are determined outside of the model. Let me give you an instance. Now, price of goods and services is not determined by you. So you go to the market, you find out that the price of, of a particular product has increased. So you can either choose to buy at the current market price or reduce the quantity that you plan to buy. Okay, you didn't influence the price. The price was beyond your control when you got to the market. So you bought at market current price. Anything, factor, variable, both life situation that is beyond what you can control is referred to as exogenous factors or exogenous variable. Let me give you another instance. Take a look at what happened, cash crunch, especially in January, in February, in March. Take a very close look at what happened. Okay, money was sucked up. Okay, was mobbed out of the economy. Now, the only authority that could determine the supply of money was was CBN. Only CBN can actually authorize the supply of money, okay, through the direction or directive of the president. Now, here, none of us had control over the money supply. We were managing what we had. And then we had to, take advantage of fintech. Now, what am I trying to say? The supply of money was beyond our control. So it was not what you can control. So that is an exogenous factor. So we say that money supply is exogenously determined. But when it comes to money demand, you are the one that have your money. You have your money, you put it in the bank. You go to the bank and then you write on a deposit, on a withdrawal slip or on your checkbook, checkleaf, the amount of money you want to withdraw from the current balance you have with them. That is demand for money. So you have control over what you demand. They place a demand on your money. That is endogenous factor. Okay. So what you can control is actually endo. What you cannot control is actually exo. Rain is falling. You cannot control rain from falling on you. You also cannot control rain from beating you. But you can actually go out with an umbrella, okay, from at least to a large extent to cover yourself. So what you can control is beyond you. It's called exogenous. But what you can control is within your control. It's called endogenous. So whenever you remember exo, exo is outside your control, outside. Endo is within, exo is outside. Do you understand? So in this case now, if you ask yourself, take a very close look at this now. These variables, what are the variables that you know you don't have control over? Number one, taxes. Government tax us. You are not the one who determines the tax that you pay. Okay, personal income tax, company income tax, property tax, duty tax. Okay, all of these taxes is determined by the government, not by you, not by me. So it is beyond your control. So such is called an exogenous factor because it is fixed, it is constant, it's beyond what you can undo, it's beyond what you can influence. Now, excuse me, government spending is also within the control of government, not within our control. So in this case, both taxes and government spending or government expenditure are exogenous variable. So let's go there. So, okay, this is also called dependent variable, okay? This endogenous is also called dependent variable. And exogenous is called independent variable. Let me write this for you. Okay. Exo variables are also called independent variables. Okay, or you can call it explanatory variables. So in this case, class, T is exo and G is also exo. Now, if they move further to include I in this sense will also be what? Exo, because to be investment to be given, taken as fixed. I also in this sense will be what? Exo, if it has included investment. Although investment can be exo, it can also be endo, depending on the function of that investment. Okay, but this is what the question just requires us to do. Okay, now let's move on to the next question, please. Let's go back. Let's go there. The next question says that according to the IS LM model, what happens in the short run? What happens in what class? Short run, income, consumption, and investment under the following circumstances. Be sure your answer includes appropriate ground. Okay. Somebody is unmuting himself. Say so. Be sure your answers includes graph. Now, take note of this now. It says, Roman figure 1, the central bank increases the money supply. If central bank increases the money supply, let's do it step by step. Let's do it together. Let's use this opportunity to learn. So this is question 5B. This is how you do this, step by step. The questions, let me write this for you. It says, what happens? What happens in the short run? What happens in the short run? To what? Interest rates. to interest rates, comma, to income, comma, to consumption, comma, and investment. And investment. Roman figure 1 now. So this is 5B, Roman figure 1. If central bank increases the money supply. Remember, we are using, excuse me, we are using graph. And let's go there. Let's use our graph, graphically. Solution. So graphically, see what happens. So your interest rate is always on the vertical. The output is always on the horizontal. So this is what I'm trying to say here. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So this is Y and this is R. Now, the first thing you need to do is to first of all establish the equilibrium between the IS LM. Okay, that is the initial LM and initial IS. So remember, the IS slope downward from left to right. So this is IS. So call this one IS naught. LM slope down upward from left to right. Let's call this one LM naught. Okay, so here is the initial equilibrium point. You trace it down. You trace it down. Trace it down. Okay, so you can call it Y star if you want to call it Y star. Then this one, you trace it. Call it R star. That is the initial equilibrium position. Okay, before anything happens, call this one. Can call this one the initial position, initial equilibrium point. Call it E star. We can call it E naught, E naught, E naught, E naught, R naught, Y naught, E bar, R bar, Y bar. Now, if central bank increases money, remember LM is for money market. Let me write it for you. LM is for money market. LM is for money market, Abi, money market. Okay, IS is for goods market. IS is for good market. Okay, so take note of that. So class, if money supply increases, LM will actually shift downward. There will be a downward shift, okay, downward shift of the LM curve. So LM, let's do it together. So downward shift. Oh, sorry, please permit me. Okay, this is so downward shift. So this is LM1. So you can see that there's what? That there's a downward shift from LM0 to LM1. So you now ask yourself, which is the new equilibrium point? The new equilibrium point will not be, you remember that IS did not change, only LM moves. So this will not be your new equilibrium point. This will be your new equilibrium point. Okay, the new LM, where it meets the old IS, is your new equilibrium point. So you can call this E1. Now let's trace it to Y and R. So you trace it step by step. Calm down. It's something you're going to know very well. I promise you that. So call this Y1. Then this, let's trace it. Okay, I hope I'm correct from this point. Okay, let's trace it. Okay, trace it. Okay, so call this R1. So, my dear friends, so you will now trace it from here. You know, this is the initial point. This is from where you're going to measure. From initial point, did it move forward or it moves backward? So class, this is forward, is forward. So this shows increase. Then from initial point, you know, R star was initial point. So from the outside, did it move down or up? It moves down. It moves down. Okay. So what's that telling you? That if central bank increased money, okay, if central bank increased money, we are going to have new equilibrium position. LM will shift downward, okay, that is to the right, which will lead to what? A decrease or fall in interest rate and an increase in what? Output. That means interest rate. Well, let's go back to the question. This is a short run analysis. This is a short run analysis. In the short run, remember that we do not, okay, relax all assumptions. In the short run, we put some certain factors into consideration, and then we assume, okay, we place some certain factors under assumptions. Then, but in the long run, all these factors become variables. Just like we have in the micro, in the short run, some factors vary, some factors are fixed. But in the long run, all factors become variable. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that in the short run, we only analyze, both the fiscal operations and the monetary operations, fiscal policy, monetary policy. We can also analyze the effect of this policy in the long run. But in the long run, we look much more at the price level, how it has affected the general economy. So take note of this, class. So here, output will increase, interest rate will increase. Now, class, this is another secret. Anytime you want to know what will happen to investment, ask yourself, what is the interest rate? What happened to interest rate? If interest rate falls, take note that the relationship between interest rate and investment is negative relationship. So if interest rate falls, okay, it means that it's going to affect investment. Investment will increase. If interest rate falls, investment will increase because people, firms, private sector can actually borrow more to do more. Okay, a fall in the interest rate means a better investment. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Better investment. Investment will be boosted. Investment will be fostered in the economy because interest rate has dropped. So there's a negative relationship between interest rates and what, class? And investment. So if interest rate falls, investment definitely would increase. Now let's go there. What will happen to consumption? Now, class, if you want to know what will happen to consumption, check what is happening to output. Now, please take note of this. Although there's some situation that things change. Okay, when we see questions like that, I'm going to analyze it for us. An increase in output, because output has increased. Okay, this means definitely investment has increased as a result of what? It fall in interest rate, and as a result, consumption will increase because of what? Increase in output. So now I know that that if money supply increases, an increase in money supply, what will happen? It will lead to what? It will lead to a fall in interest rates. Due to a fall in interest rate. Okay, a fall in interest rates will lead to what? A rise in investment. Okay. And a rise in consumption, in income will lead to a rise in what, class? In consumption. So take a look at this now. Let's go down. Have we answered everything? What happened to interest rate, income, consumption, and investment? Interest rate will fall. Interest rate will fall. Income will rise. Interest rate fall, income rises. Consumption rises. Investment also rises. Everything rises. Interest rate falls. Okay. So please take note of this. So this you can put it in a statement. So excuse me. So you can just put it in this statement that a fall, an increase in money supply will lead to a fall in interest rate, And a fall in interest rate will lead to an increase in investment. And also, an increase in output will lead to what? An increase in consumption. Let me quickly show us this. Okay, it's not part of your answer, but you need to know this. Okay, let me show you something here. Okay, I think you should know this. Now, take a look at this class. Now, let's say I just want to confirm if I am correct or wrong, what happens to interest rate, and then what will happen to investment. Take a look at this. So let's quickly sketch this, a rough sketch. Okay, sketch this as well. So this is interest rate. This is interest rate. This is output. This is quantity of investment. Okay, this is investment curve. This is investment curve. Okay. So now let's go there. Now, this is our, okay, this is our IS notes. This is our LM note. Based on what we just described now, you want to do something. Okay, Y star. And this is, okay, this is arrow star. Increase in money supply. We have this. So this is LM1. So we have new position. So this is, trace this, we said this is Y1. Then if we trace this to the interest rate, this is R1. We say there's a fall in interest rate and an increase in output. Now, what I'm interested in is, like, we want to see what will happen to investment. So when this is the initial, this is equilibrium interest rate. So let's trace it. Let's trace it to investment curve. So this is it. So we have this. So call this I star. Okay, and take a look at this. This is this. Can you see the new interest rate? Let's trace it. Let's trace it together. So can you see? So you can see that investment increase. Okay, can you see that investment increase? If interest rate falls, investment will increase. So this is a class for you to know how this thing works and not just guessing. We're not guessing here. Then number two, what's number two question? The 5B Roman figure 2 says the government increases government purchases. The government increases government purchases. Class, when government increase purchases, what are they trying to say? Basically, they're saying that government spending has increased. Okay, so so this is 5B Roman figure 2. So the government increases government purchases. The government increases government purchases. So what happened to interest rate, consumption, income, and investment? So now let's go there. See what we're going to do. So let's do this together. Let's do it together. So this is my vertical line for my interest rate. This is my horizontal for my output. Okay. So take note of this. The first thing I do, okay, let's take note of this. Let's have our IS. Okay. This is my IS note. Okay. And this is my LM note. So call this, just call this anything you want to call it. Okay. So you can call this Y star. Okay. So can call this R star. Okay. Now, class, this is E star. When government increases spending, what will be affected? Which of the curve will move? Is IS. IS. Thank you very much. God bless you. IS will move. So IS will move upward because increase in spending will shift IS curve upward. So IS curve will move upward. Okay, IS curve move upward. So we have IS1. You can see it's an upward movement. Okay, this is an upward movement. Okay, because there is no time, I would have taken time to teach you everything. But now, no time. So that's why we're doing a short note, then we quickly solve questions. Okay, so here we have the new equilibrium position. LM did not change, only IS changed. So do not trace the new equilibrium point, trace it down carefully. If you want to use ruler, you can use ruler. Okay, trace it down. You can call this E1, call this Y1. Then let's trace this one up. Okay. So call this R1. So you can see that interest rates increased and output also what? Increased. So if government increase spending, interest rate will increase. Output what? Output will also increase. So now let me ask us question. Let me ask us question, class. What will happen to investment? What will happen to consumption? What happened to investment? What happened to consumption? Please talk to me.
I think investment will have to reduce because of the interest rate that has increased.
So what happened to consumption?
Consumption will increase because of the outputs also increased.
God bless you, class. She's very correct. So class, in the short run, what happened? An increase in G. Because G increased, what happened to interest rate? We know that interest rates will increase. Okay, outputs increase. Okay, what happened? Consumption increase. What happened? Investment fall. Okay, she's very correct. Now remember, this and this, you look at interest rate and investment, they have an inverse relationship. This and this has a positive relationship. So we are done with question 5. Let's go to question 6, class. We have a lot of things to do tonight. Question 6, I want to use question 6 to show us a lot of things.
Please,
Yeah?
I just want to ask a question.
Okay.
So the other question, the 5B1, we saw that when there was a decrease in rates, there was increase in investment. Why? Because people have to borrow money to do more business also, which also had an effect in output, showing
Correct.
that also increased. So now that there's an increase in interest rates and there's a decrease in investment, how come there's also an increase in output?
Okay, thank you very much. This is a fantastic question. Class, a situation like this always leads to what we call crowding out effects. We call it crowded out effects of private sector investment. Let me explain. Now, if government spends, government doesn't just spend. Government also needs money to spend. So government can actually choose to borrow from CBN. Government can collect or borrow from commercial bank. And as a result of that, it pushes interest rate up. When interest rate goes up, take note, if interest rate goes up, this becomes a disincentive to the private sector to actually borrow. And as a result, what happened? Investment will fall. But the effect, the positive effect of government spending on the economy, the effect of government spending on the economy is positive on the output. See the twist. Your question is, why do we have output to increase when investment falls? Because you are very smart. Because output, okay, is a function of consumption, investment, and government spending. And literally, logically, if investment should rise, we expect that output should increase. And if investment should fall, we also expect that output should fall. So it's a logical question. You ask a very intelligent question. Okay? But in this case, the effect of government spending, okay, has a ripple effect on the national income equilibrium. But in this case now, interest rate determines the investment. Okay? Here, interest rate determines in the investment in the economy, because we now know that interest rate will be pushed up. Okay, and as a result, more people will be able to borrow. Okay, and as a result of that, investment will fall. That is justifiable. But how come that output increase when investment falls? Is as a result of the increase in government spending. Government spending will have a positive multiplier effect on output, okay, than even taxes. So that is it, okay? So you look at R to determine high. Now, you know, I said you asked an intelligent question because this interplays, because there's some questions like that will require you to analyze this question from the angle of money demand and bring it back to the goods markets. Okay, so, but in this case, okay, it is the interest rate that determines why is the increase in interest rate, because government spending has actually increased. And as government spending increases, you have a positive multiplier effect on the economy. So output will shift outward, output will increase. But as a result of an increase in government spending, which could have been as a result of the fact that government borrowed from the CBN or from the commercial bank, interest rate will shoot up. And as interest rates shoot up, it becomes a disincentive to the private sector. And as a result of that, private sector investment will fall. Okoro, have I provided an answer to your question?
Yes, very, very, very understandable now. Thank you.
God bless you. Okay. Any other question? We are moving to question 6. Okay, let's shoot. Now, question 6. Now, let's take it step by step. The question says, if the structure of a small open economy is given by the following equations, C equals to A plus 0.75 into Y minus T. C equals to, okay, class, just give me a second. Let me write out all the parameters. Then we'll come. Okay, so this is it. Now, C is equals to, so we are giving consumption function, we are giving G, we are giving A, we are giving T, we are giving I, we are giving real money demand. Class, whenever money demand is divided by price level is real money demand. This is real money supply. If it's just ordinary MD, MS, it is nominal money demand, nominal money supply. This is net export, this is exchange rate, real exchange rate. Now let's go there. Now, the first question says that derive what? Derive the IS and LM equations if P is equals to 1. If P is equals to 1. Okay, want to derive IS and LM equation if P is equals to what? 1. Let's start with IS class. For IS, please, I want you to come with me. You are going to understand everything. You will understand it. Okay, so goods market. Let's start. Class for goods market. For goods market, what do you need? You need Y. Sorry, you need C. You need G. You need T. You need I. So for goods market, take note. Y, remember, it's a small open economy. Because it's an open economy, the economy is open to an outside world for trading. Now let's go to class. Please calm down. I promise you are going to understand. Now, so you have it, C is equal to I plus G, okay, plus plus net export. That net export is export minus import. Net import is import minus export. So because we've already been given, so we just put the net export straight. Now let's go there step by step. Step by step. Let's start. So y equals to what is c? C is a plus 0.75 open bracket y minus t plus what is I? Class, I is what? 300 minus 30i. 300 minus 30r. Thank you. Class, what is G? G is 400 plus 400. Class, what next? Net export. What is net export? Class, 400 minus 0.1y minus 5e. So this is net export. So at this point, the first thing you do, reduce everything. Don't substitute at this moment. Quickly reduce all the numbers by adding them. The one you can add them. So this is why let's quickly reduce this long expression. Let's go there. This is 300 plus 400, 700. 700 plus 1,000. Sorry, 300. This is 1,100. So there's no that thing I can add. So I've reduced it 1,100. Then I can go ahead small and say, okay, this is plus is 0.75. Okay, what is t? What is t? No, don't put t yet, so that I want to make it easier for you. Don't put t yet. Let's just maintain y minus t. Minus 30r, that's the next thing. Minus 0.1y minus 5. E is what? E is 50 into 50. Okay, so this is y equals to 1,100, 0.75. Open the bracket now. You're free to open the bracket. 0.75 y minus 0.75 t, okay, minus 30r minus 0.1 y minus 250. So this is minus 250. Okay, minus 250. So at this point, you can subtract this from this. So 1,100 minus 1,100 okay, minus 250. That should be 8. So this is 850. Okay, so this is y equals to 850. Now we can add this 0.75y minus 0.1y. Okay, 0.75 minus 0.1. Okay, that is what class 0.65. I told you that even if you are sure, you can confirm. So this is plus 0.65y. So I've reduced this. Just try and be reducing anyone that has the same variable. You can add or subtract. So now it remains c. So now, oh my G, something is missing. Something is missing here. A is missing. Oh, nobody said anything. Okay,
I did actually. I was calling that to your attention, but maybe you didn't hear me.
Okay, maybe I didn't hear that. Okay. So A here is missing. No problem. There's no problem. So we can put the plus A here. Class, we all know that we omitted it together. So this is plus A, don't forget. So it's supposed to be here, but the same thing, since it's plus or minus, it's correct. So now we have this. Now minus 0.75. What is T? 200 plus 0.2y. 200 plus is 0.2y plus, okay, 0. Okay, this is for T. Okay, let's bring in, okay, don't worry. You have to be very careful. Let's bring in minus 30R first. Okay, let's bring in minus 30R. Okay, we've sorted this already. So let's bring in plus A now. What is plus A? A is what? 50 minus 10R. 50 minus 10. 50 minus what? 10R. Okay, I hope we are done with our substitution. So now let's go there. So let's see where we have our numbers again. Let's calm down small. This is plus 50, right? So this should give us 900. So this should give us 900. Plus 0.65y. 0.75 times 200. 0.75 times 200. What do you have, class? That is 150. Remember, it's the sign here is minus. So that should be minus 150. Then minus 0.75 times 0.2y. Okay, we have 0.75 times what? 0.2. Take note of this, 0.75 times 0.2. What will it give you? To give you 0.15. Remember, it's minus. This will give us minus 0.15y. Be very careful. So next, we have, see, this is minus 30R minus 10R becomes minus 40R. Okay, so that's minus 40R. So now let's go there small. We're getting there. So 900 minus 150, that should give us what, class? That should give us 750. Okay. $900. So this is y equals to 750. 0.65y minus 0.15. 0.65 minus what? 0.15. That should give us 0.5. So that is 0. So we have plus 0.5y minus what, class? 40R. You can see the way we have reduced it now. So bring this one to this side. We have y minus 0.5y equals to 750 minus 40R. So this will give us 0.5y equals to 750 minus 40R. So divided through by what? 0.5. So this is divided by 0.5 equals to 750 divided by 0.5 minus 40R divided by 0.5. So y equals 750. 750 divided by 0.5. We have 1,500. This is 1,500 minus 40.
ATR.
ATR. Thank you very much. That's very correct. ATR. So class, okay, this is IS relation. So this is IS relation. This is IS relation. Take note, this is IS relation. Now let's go there to obtain LM relation. So for LM, class, for LM, remember for LM, that is money market. So class for LM, you need the equilibrium condition that money demand over P is equal to MS, money supply over P. You know, the question says since P is equal to 1, Abi, P is 1. So what is MD? Let's go back to what is MD. So we have 0.4y minus 50R. Then 300 is 0.4y minus 50R. So 0.4y minus 50R equals to 300. This is already 1. So bring this to this side. Okay, we have 0.4y equals to 300 plus 50R. So you divide out through by what? 0.4. Okay, so we have 300 divided by 0.4 plus 50R divided by 0.4. Okay, I will have to extend the class, please. I won't release you by 9:30. So this will give us y equals to 300 divided by 0.4. What do you have, please?
750.
God bless you, 750. So this is 750. And what do you have here?
Plus 12.5R.
Thank you, 12.5R. I love that. She said plus. I love that. So class, this is what class? LM relation. Class, that is LM relation. So you are done with the LM, you are done with the IS. You're done with the IS, you're done with the LM. This is just what they want you to do. LM relation, IS relation. Remember I told you that for IS, output is negatively related to what? Interest rate. And for LM, output is positively related to what? To interest rate. So if you are getting negative here, you are wrong for LM. And if you are getting positive here, you are wrong for IS. Now let's go there. The next question now says, calculate the equilibrium real interest rates, real output, and net export. Net export. Now let's go there. Now, let me give you something. My mind tells me to show you something. My mind tells me to show you something here. Alternatively, you know, remember you can make y the subject to the formula. You can also make r the subject to the formula. So alternatively, let me give it to you. Alternatively, from here, so we have from here 0.4y. Please follow me. 50r equals to 300. So bring 50 out to this other side. So we have 50r equals to 0.4y minus 300. So you divide out through by what? 50. Divide out through by 50. So this is 50 r over 50 equals to 0.4y, over 50 minus 300 over 50. So please help me out. R is equals to what? 0.4y, 0.4.
No, 0.008, I think. 0.008, yes. 8.
How many zero?
Three zeros. Three, 0. It's okay, then 8. 8, no.
It's okay
no,
like this?
it's too much. No, 0.008.
Okay. Okay, so R is 0.008. I mean,
yes.
Y minus 6, right? Minus 6.
Yeah.
So, sorry, it can't be minus. So, yes, it's correct. It's minus. This is minus. It's correct because what's it called? Interest rate and output must be positive. So it's correct because you bring to this side, bring this to this side. So it's correct. So this will give us. So this is alternatively, this is also LM relation. This is also LM relation. The reason why I'm writing that is because this space will not contain my relation. Okay. So let's take it step by step. So go back to the question. So this is question 6B. We want to find equilibrium interest rate, output, and net export. Now, let me give you first method. Let's go there. So either of the two, you are good to go. So first method equates IS to what class? LM. This is at equilibrium. This is at equilibrium. Okay. So the IS here is Y equals to Y. Y from IS equals to Y from LM. You know, Y from IS equals to what? Y from LM. So this will give us 1,500 minus what? 80R equals to what? 750 plus 12, 750 plus 12.5R. So now let's go there. Let's go there. So let's go there. Let's bring R to this side, this to this side. So this will give us 1,500 minus 750 equals to 12.5R plus what? 80R. So this should give us 750, right? Equals to what? This should give us 92.5, if I'm correct. 92.5R. So R will give us 750 divided by what? 92.5. What do you have, please?
Sorry, sir, I'm sorry. From the LM equation, so 50 divided by 0.4 is 125, not 12.5.
Sorry, I'm coming. It is 0.4 divided by 50.
No, from the LM.
Where?
From the LM. Yes, 50. Yes, from the LM equation, sir. LM relation, 50 divided by, no, before that place, before the alternatively. Yes.
Okay.
50 divided by 0.4. 50 divided by 0.4, yes. 125. 125.
Okay, 125. Okay, thank you very much. Hey, this is very important too. Thank you. So you see, any mistake you make here, we keep substituting like that. So that's a very good one. Okay. We guys, we are not even helping out. We are just writing. Some of you are just writing. So this is 125. Okay, let me see. Did we use it anywhere? 125. So okay, so this is supposed to be 125 R. Okay, 125 R. 125 R. So okay, 125 R. So 125 plus 80, that is 205 R. Okay, so this is divided by 750 divided by 205. What do you have, please?
3.658.
So you have 3.655. So we have 3.658. Okay, so that's the interest rate, class. That's the interest rate. Now, why do I choose this for decimal place? Because I'm more closer to my answer if I have more decimal place than lesser decimal place. So take note of that. So I can say, okay, my R is okay, approximately 3.166. Do you understand? It's okay. But if you are substituting, you use this, your final answer can be this. So we can now say, okay, therefore, Y will now be, to find Y, which is equilibrium output, we have actually obtained interest rate. To find Y, you can use either IS or LM. You can use either this or this, you get the same answer. So let's use this. So y equals 1,500 minus 80R. So y will give us 1,500 minus 80. Okay. Into what, class? This is what you're going to substitute. 3.6585. So y equals to okay. Sorry. Okay, times 80. We have
7.32.
This one is 292, right? 292
Yes.
point what?
0.8.
6829. So subtract. So 1,500 minus answer.
1207.32.
1207 point what, class?
32.
Correct. 32. So this is the output. This is the equilibrium output. Okay. Now let's go ahead and solve for net export. Okay. Recall that net export is what? Net export is given as what? 400 minus 0.1y minus 5e. Okay. So you go ahead and substitute 400 minus 0.1. Y is what? 1207.32 minus 5 into what? 50. So now let's sort it out. So what do we have? So this is net exports equals 400. Okay. What do you have here, class?
Minus
29 point.
120.
Eh?
Okay. Someone is talking.
120.732.
So we have, okay, minus 120 point what? 732
103.
minus 250. So subtract.
Everything is
Everything is
29.26.
Okay, so that's
29.268.
okay. We have 29 point what?
268.
26. So net export is 29.27 approximately. Can you see now? So that is your net export. That is your net export. Okay, net export. Now, question 3 says, C says, if government spending G increased by 600, by how much should exchange rate E depreciate to ensure that the trade deficit created by the increase in G is removed? So I'm going to explain this to you, then you do it to me, do it for me as assignment. Please, I'm going to send you questions. I'll send you questions. Then you do for me question 4 as well. You know, I send the whole question to you. You do question 4 as well as this is question 4. Remember? Okay. Let me quickly explain this. What you need to do here. Let me explain this one here. If government spending G is increased by 600, by how much should exchange rates depreciate to ensure that trade deficit created by the increase in G is removed? Now, remember, Clark, you need G has increased. That means you need to obtain new IS. LM did not change. The only thing that changed is actually the goods market. LM will still remain the same. G has changed. That means as G changed, goods market will be affected. That means that the output will be affected. So what you need to do, go ahead and substitute the value of G. Okay, hold on, please. Here, where you have here where you have G as 400. You know the question says that it increased by, because the question says it's increased by 600. What is our new G class? What's our new government spending? It increased by
600.
No, increased by. It now means that you will add the 600 to 400, making 1,000.
1,000.
But yes, but if the questioner says that government spending increased to 600, that means you use 600. But increased by 600 means that the 600 it has increased by, added to the initial government spending that you had in the question before, that will give you your new G. So in the new G that you are going to be using here is now 1,000. Okay, it's now 1,000. So you now go ahead and solve Y.
Yeah.
You solve for R. You solve for E again. Do you understand? You solve for Y. You remember that LM did not change. So you equate Y to Y. Solve for Y, R, and E. Then they said by how much, you want to look at by how much the deficit will change. Then go back to the formula that you had, then analyze it using, obviously you are on. Okay, I mean that your mic is on. Analyze it using the express equations that you have in the question. Okay, I'm kind of distracted, but okay, I think I'm okay now. I wanted to say something. Okay, I wanted to say something. Okay, the other question, let me quickly explain to you. But the other question is very simple, though. The other question is simple. 323. Okay, take a look at it now. Let's go there. Consider an economy described by the following equations. Aggregate consumption is given. Aggregate investment is given. Government sector is given at G equals, anytime you see G equals to T equals to 100 is a balanced budget. Okay. Calculate equilibrium level of income at any given level of interest rate. What are they asking you to do? They're asking you to obtain your IS LM. I mean, obtain your IS. There is no LM here. There's no LM. It's just simply IS. So obtain Y in terms of R. That is it. Then you can now assume, you can choose to assume any level of interest rate. You can assume 5%, that will be 0.05, and then you substitute and then get Y. Next, what is the effect of an increase in the interest rates on the equilibrium level of income? Okay. Now, class, what you do here is that after you have obtained that Y, which is your IS relation, you will now carry out what we call slope. You carry out what is called comparative static analysis. That is, do your differentiation. You are going to do dy with respect to what? Dy, what is the effect of increase in interest rate? Dy on dr, dy dr, meaning that you differentiate. For instance, let me show you what I'm trying to say here. Let me show you. Where are you? For instance, you know, you are going to get something like this. The question now says, what is the effect of an increase in interest rate? It's very simple. You will just say here, you just say change, you just say the dy, you can say dy dr equals to, you know, if you differentiate this, you're going to get minus 80. So it used to give you minus 80. And the minus 80 is what? Is less than 0. So you now interpret that if there's an increase in interest rate, output will fall by what? By 80. So that is it. That is it. So I'm giving you it already. So don't fail it all. Suppose the government increases lump sum tax to 200. That means this is deficit now. Okay, in that case now, no, this is a situation of surplus because this is revenue. How does this affect the equilibrium level of income? So what you do is this: you are now going to substitute, instead of using 100 in the new equation, you're not going to use 200. You solve for IS again. You get your Y with respect to T. With respect to R. Suppose instead that the government raises our expenditure. In this case now, the government expenditure has been raised by 100%. That means our G in number D, the G you now use, in number C, G, you're going to use G as 100, but T, you use 200. But in question D, G has increased by 100%. So G will now be used as 200, T will be used as 100. Then how does this affect equity? You now recalculate your IS LM. Your IS, Y in terms of R is very simple. Now, what type of budget is the economy running and why? I already told you it's running the budget, balanced budget economy. Then why? Go ahead and interpret it for us. So that is assignment 1. No, assignment 1, finish up this C. Assignment 2, I've explained how to do this. Let's go to assignment number 3. Assignment number 3, please do this for me, class. You will never regret it. Do question 2. I've already taught you question 2, how to analyze the graph. Do question 2. Everything is on that platform. Do question 2. Thank you and God bless you. Any question, please? Any question?
Okay, please. I have a question.
Okay.
Is it really a question? Because I joined late